Here.com. I'm Field Denny. This is my amazing co-host, Elizabeth Langford.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. Yeah. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Today's a big day. I was actually just thinking, like normally right before the show starts, there's a joke, there's a something said. Like I wish we could just share those with the people. Liz tells just the you can't share them on the internet.
That's not true. That's not true. Do you know what you call a nosy pepper? One that's all up in your business.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
a jalapeno business.
Yeah. See, that's
that is the extent of my crazy jokes.
Ambassador of joy. That's what that's what.
Yeah. No, I was actually telling Phil before the show started that I was on an airplane last night that had a medical emergency when we landed, or during flight, and then when we landed, like the paramedics came on and. It was really, I've never experienced that. And the woman was okay. So everything turned out to be just fine.
And that's why we were laughing. That makes us sound like terrible people. No, I asked if it was Liz, because Liz, just so you guys know, deathly allergic to shellfish.
Yeah.
And so she carries around an EpiPen. And we never want her to, have to experience that. But we constantly go to lunch at like sushi places. And I mean, we really want to stick her with an EpiPen. Just right in the thigh.
Oh, there's so much excitement that would bring. Speaking of excitement,
yes.
Showit United. Woo! It is like what, less than 4 months now? Is that right? I'm really bad at math grades, but it is coming fast. It's coming. October. It's in October. It's going to be June. Yes. Yeah, it's almost half Christmas, and it's coming October 18th, 19th, and 20th. It's at the beautiful Fire Sky Resort in Scottsdale, Arizona, which we jokingly call our backyard. We're located in Gilbert, and we have about 45 tickets left. And so if you want to come to United and we want you to be there, you've got to go and grab your ticket. We have an amazing lineup of speakers, a fantastic schedule that you can take a look at online, and you can check out all of our speakers that are coming. And we, in fact, have some additional speakers we still have to announce. Next week, we're going to be announcing an additional speaker for United. I don't even know if you knew that. That might have been a little surprise for you.
I'm really excited. So we have less than 45 tickets.
Less than 45 tickets.
And I heard that we had been running out of rooms.
Yes.
But we got maybe a couple more.
Yes, we have a couple more rooms left at the Fire Sky Resort, but you want to get that as soon as you can because they're going to be gone. But we're going to have some alternative locations available to you if you don't get one of those rooms, and they're like literally a stone's throw if you can actually throw a stone.
I can throw stones.
So I imagine that you can. Yeah. Hey, I was supposed to remind you of something.
Oh, yes. Oh, no.
You completely forget.
Yeah. Thank you for the reminder, though. So you mentioned a couple fun things. You said that this is almost half Christmas.
Yes.
Thursday is what we're calling half Christmas, right? Because it's the 25th of June. People always say Christmas in July. That is bologna sauce.
It's Christmas in June if you're actually technically doing that.
Yeah, 6 months, 12 months. It's a half Christmas. Right. So there's this thing on the internet called Periscope.
Yes.
Put out by Twitter. It's a meerkat competitor, if you will. Yeah, exactly.
You can live broadcast on Periscope.
Yeah, you can live broadcast on Periscope. You can, share comments. You can leave hearts, just tapping away to give hearts. Yeah. But on Thursday, we're doing something special for half Christmas. We're going
to blend Christmas and the next major holiday here in the States is the 4th of July.
Yes.
And so Field and I are each going to have a blender, and we're going to have an assortment of foods, and we are going to blend Christmas and the 4th of July, and then we're going to drink it. So we hope that you'll tune in and join us. It's going to be a little crazy and a little ridiculous, but you know what? Sometimes you just need to take a little break from work and have some fun with your friends.
I thought that was work.
Well, for us, it's work. For the rest of the world, they're going to take a break and do that. And if you're taking a break from editing and culling, or if you're wanting to speed up your workflow, we actually have a really cool article on showit.com recently about a fantastic product that we love called Photo Mechanic. And Photo Mechanic is a culling software that you can download, use to go through a wedding so much faster than any other software I have ever tried. And it totally, people will say Photo Mechanic changed my life. Yeah. They mean it, and I mean it too. It's fantastic.
Well, it's a great article by Katie Ronquillo out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But it's a great article. And I know that you use Photo Mechanic like for your same day slideshow because it loads everything up so quickly.
I do. It ingests the images so fast that you won't believe it.
That's what we're doing on Thursday.
Right.
Yeah.
Photo Mechanic ingests your images so quickly you won't even believe that they are coming up that fast. And so I ingest my images. I choose 40 really quickly in Photo Mechanic, and then pull them over if I need to make any adjustments in Lightroom, and bop them onto a little iPad. And put it out in same-day slideshow in like less than 20 minutes. So
definitely go check out the article. Not now, because we're doing something now, but very soon go to showit2.com and find this awesome article by Katie. But it's something, I don't know, in the past I've always, when we shot digital, I would load up the digital files, like put in the cards and walk away, you know, and 45 minutes come back and do all that. Photo Mechanic, it's not that way.
No,
loads up, start working right away.
It loads immediately. You immediately start culling. And what's really cool is that the way that you star your images or you rank your images in Photo Mechanic will actually pull over into Lightroom. So as I go through after the wedding, not during the same day slideshow portion, but after the wedding, when I cull in Photo Mechanic on, say, Monday, I can go through and I can click 1 with an image and know that that's an image I definitely want to keep. 2 with an image that I want to, you know, maybe do on the blog post. 3 stars on an image I want to post on social media, and then I pull it over into Lightroom, and I've already completed that part of my workflow. So it's fantastic for workflow. If you guys are out there in the chat, we'd love for you to jump in and share with us where you are chatting from.
The chat's over there.
Yes, it's over here. It's on this side. And we see we've already got some friends in there. Jessica Fry, who actually wrote an article for us about the topic we're talking today with our guest, Rachel Ashcraft.
It was an email, was it not?
It was an email, and I think you can also possibly find it on showit.com.
Soon.
Well, soon, it's coming. But Jessica is a photographer who had to move her business from Bakersfield, California to Austin, Texas. And so she shared sort of those struggles and some great ideas for getting your business moved. And we're going to talk with Rachel Ashcraft about that today, because she made a big move also from Boston down to North Carolina.
Yeah, so, and this is not her first move either.
No, she's done some moving. Someone else that's in the chat that we see has moved is Lauren. Lauren has moved just recently to Chandler, Arizona.
Woot woot.
Woot woot.
My stomping ground.
Yes, that is actually very close to us here.
The dance movement.
Is that what you do on the weekends?
It's my stomping ground.
I thought you and Carrie shot weddings.
Nope. Stomp.
Okay. Lauren, we would love to meet you since you're here and you're in our neck of the woods.
That's what you're going to remind me about.
Yeah, that is what I was going to remind you about, but short memory.
So, yeah. So
things just come and go.
So many things, but yeah, this is a really big deal for a lot of people, and so let's go ahead. Let's invite Rachel on. So Rachel, you can go to rachelredphotography.com and check out her awesome site. Her and Rachel Earl actually worked on it together at Earl and Lane.
Team of Rachels.
Yeah, so many Rachels, but it's a gorgeous site. It's absolutely wonderful. rachelredphotography.com. And I love, we'll talk about that in just a second.
Where she got the name of her business.
Well, and also something specific about her site that I love. Yeah, so Rachel, welcome.
Hi there.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you all?
So good. Better than I deserve, for sure.
Yeah, good.
Well, welcome to Show It Live.
Thank you so much for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, so we've mentioned a little bit about you out there, but for those who don't know who you are, give us a little, who are you?
I'm Rachel.
Hi.
And I'm a photographer, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for about 13 years. I started working for a company, and the company did 150 weddings a year, and I did about 45 of those myself. We had our own editor to do everything, so I just photographed. Yeah. And I decided that instead of building up another company's name, that I should do it on my own. So to do so, I had to leave the state because I signed a non-compete contract. So I moved up to Boston and started from scratch. No images, no nothing, no equipment. I did that 3 years ago, and built up my portfolio in the last 2 years, and then decided that my heart was still in the South. So about a year ago, I decided that I had to move. I had to get back down to the South, so I moved to Charleston, South Carolina 4.5 months ago, and I love it. Yeah. It's wonderful.
It's a gorgeous city. Charleston's amazing. Yeah. So so you've done this more than once. So you've got a little bit of experience in this. You moved up to what I affectionately call Boma, which is Boston, Massachusetts. Everybody calls it Boma. So, you know.
It just sounds like you're saying Beaumont.
I love Beaumont, Texas.
Different,
That's Beaumont's cool.
Different state.
Well, then they're Boston, Austin. It's very similar. No, so yeah, you've done this more than once. You moved up to Boston,
Yes.
Boma.
Yeah, and that's quite a move from the South, right? I would imagine that Southern brides and Northeastern brides are a little bit different.
Totally different. 100% different. Everything is, expectations are completely opposite. The type of weddings are different, and vendors are different. What you charge is different. It's like a different world. So it was culture shock moving up there.
Yeah. So you were originally from North Carolina, right?
Yes.
So you're from one of the Carolinas.
From Charlotte.
From Charlotte, and then you move up, and then you move back to the awesome South.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Now, there were some steps that you sort of went through to make this move happen and make it successful. And we're kind of hoping that you can share those with us, because we know a lot of Showiteers are moving around.
See it
a
all
lot
the
of
time.
wives who are married to men in the military are moving, and it's just, I think it's easier now to move and go different places. And some people shoot in multiple markets. But what were those steps? Maybe the first thing that you did, Rachel, to make a difference when you made that move from Boston back down to Charleston?
I made a lot of mistakes my first time moving up to Boston, so I learned from those. I realized that I had to start about a year before I moved. So the first thing was preparation and making contact with vendors. So that's photographers and other people in the wedding industry. I just reached out to as many people as I could, people that I trusted and that I admired their work. That was probably the most important part about it. So I just wrote emails and I Skyped with people and I called them and made trips down to Charleston and had coffee and took people out to lunch and just said, what can I do for you? That was a big thing. Instead of what can you do for me as I moved down, I just kind of took it, whatever I can do to help people out is what I did. Mm-hmm. So.
And with the photographers you met up, now, what did you do there to kind of start shooting down there? Did you start doing second shooting?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been in the business for a really long time, so it was not my instinct to second shoot because I've just been lead shooter for such a long time. But I had the dates open, so I thought it would be nice to just get in touch with some of the other photographers, see how they're shooting. It really helped to go and see the venues that I had never been to. That was a big deal. And really making the contacts with the other vendors while I was at a wedding was really wonderful. And I am so lucky and blessed that a lot of the photographers were so open to let me do that. They've been wonderful down here. I couldn't have asked for more, really.
That's awesome. And I think that's the greatest way to find other photographers to refer business to is when they've shot for you or you've shot for them. Because not only have you spent that time together and working, you've seen the images. And you know what their style is and what their personality is going to be on the wedding day. So that's a fantastic idea as a way to get started.
I never would have thought about that. But my old second shooter from North Carolina moved to Hawaii and did that and then wrote about it. Her name's Ashley Goodwin Woods, and she's amazing. So go check her out. She's in Hawaii. But her husband moved because of the military, and so she just started second shooting, and now she's a big deal down there. So yeah, it was great.
That's awesome.
So with the other vendors that you met at the weddings and all of that, did you do anything specifically with them to help the transition?
I tried to. The biggest thing I wanted to do is respect the photographers that I worked for. So I never handed out my business cards and I never did anything. But anytime that a photographer said it's okay to follow up with them, I would write them an email, let them know it was great to talk to you. And then I would follow up with them and try to meet them in person and let them know that I'm willing to do things for them. And that kind of started things so that I could do some styled shoots in the area, which was a huge help as well.
Yeah. Now, with the styled shoots, that kind of leads us into the next segment, or the next step rather, because you'd get together with these local vendors, you do the styled shoots, and then that really helps you get out there as being known as a Charleston photographer. So tell us about what is step 2? Tell us about that.
Step 2 is really all about taking your images and making making the best of them. So it has to do with SEO, and which before I moved, I knew nothing about SEO. And so I owe all of that to Rachel Earl from Earl and Lane. She really helped me. I built my website so that it would be done right when I moved. So February 1st, it was done, and I moved February 6th. And yeah, it was great. So she taught me all about taking all of the images that I photographed in the last 6 months or so from Charleston and pulling those images into my website and then labeling them correctly with the city and the venues so that Google picks them up and things like that. That helped tremendously, so that by the time I actually moved there, I was already starting to get inquiries directly from Google, which is kind of great because I never got that in Boston. So that was something that I learned through the move. It was great.
That's fantastic. And so that's something that if you're not moving, if you're watching the show today and you're not moving, but you need to be found where you're at, you know, that's a great tip, that you need to go and name those images correctly, that really helps in searches. And I know when I search things on Google, I'm often like clicking on the images tab and I'm just looking at the pictures.
Oh, for sure.
So, you know, I want to find this colored chair or whatever. It makes it easier.
Especially if you're talking weddings.
Yeah.
Like anything with weddings, everything is so visual, whether it's invitations, locations, flowers, everything is, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think naming with the venue really makes a lot of sense, because that's the very first thing I feel like brides are doing. They get engaged and they're like, now where am I going to get married? And so they want to see, what is, you know, Big Springs Farm in Virginia look like in the fall and in the winter and the spring and the summer. And, you know, but they want to see those pictures. So that's fantastic. And you mentioned that Rachel helped you with this, that you didn't know, but now you're at this place where you understand what those important things are that you need to take care of.
Yes. Yeah. So I actually went from knowing absolutely nothing with that to realizing how important it was. And I hired an intern pretty much right when I got here. And she has taken over all of that stuff for me. So anytime that I have new images that need to go into the website or the blog, she renames everything and she hashtags everything and just SEOs the crap out of everything.
That's the way to do it. You gotta get it all. And so, and you guys, you're hitting every social media platform, even you know, still hitting the Google Plus and the Instagrams, Facebook.
Yeah, we have a list. So everything's done. There's Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, Instagram, and Facebook. So every single time something new comes out, it's going to be loaded in everything.
Yeah. Speaking of Facebook, something else that you did, I think it was part of step one, so I apologize. But something else you did was getting involved in all of the local groups you could find. Right. Yes. So tell me about that and how that kind of helped you.
Yeah. So I was a little bit nervous because I was involved in a bunch of Facebook groups in Boston, and there was probably 700 photographers in the city of Boston in these bigger Facebook groups. So there's quite a few. And then I started looking into the ones in Charleston, and there's the same amount or maybe even a little bit more. And Charleston's a much smaller city. So I was nervous because it was a little bit more saturated with photographers and saturated with good photographers. But as soon as I started joining, there was just like a camaraderie that happened. And getting to know some of the photographers before I even got to see them in person or work with them, that was a huge, huge help. Just letting people know that I'm here and that I'm a team player. And my biggest thing when I joined all of these things, the first thing that I said was, a rising tide lifts all boats, and I'm here to help lift all boats. Let's make the wedding industry great here, even better than it is. And that really helped people to not be nervous about me coming in or me nervous about meeting new people. It just keeps everybody on the same level, really.
That's awesome.
And you even joined some non-photography groups,
I did.
Right?
I did.
Tell us about that.
I joined the Charleston Mom Swap. I'm not a mom, but
that's like going on a Disney cruise without a kid.
Yeah.
I would totally do that.
Yes, you would.
they told me, a friend of mine told me that it's a great place to meet people, and I didn't know a soul here. I didn't know one person, so I didn't just join the Mom Swap and then say, hey, Rachel Red Photography. It was more like, hi, I'm here, and I would love to be friends. And so a lot of the friends have led to connections, but I didn't necessarily do it for that. I did it so that I could meet people and be nice, and that Southern hospitality, I've been like longing for it. Yeah. So, but it has actually helped a whole lot because moms know other moms, and you know, so I've gotten a few actual weddings from the Mom Swap.
That's awesome.
That's really, I love that. That's such a fun tip because that's not something that you would necessarily expect to do. And if you guys are out there in the chat and you have other tips for what you did when you moved to a new market that may be unexpected, I think that's great. Sure. And I think that even applies if you're feeling disconnected in your current market. Yeah. You don't have to move to do these things that Rachel is suggesting. You can do them wherever you are if you feel like I really need to elevate my presence in the community, and I just want to get out there and meet people because I'm lonely. We chatted about that last week.
There's a little bit of loneliness.
There's a little bit of loneliness that comes with this. But I think that's fantastic. Rachel, can I ask a quick question about Charleston? Do you get a lot of like destination weddings, or is that so you have a lot of brides that are coming there specifically because they want a Charleston-esque wedding?
Yes, the majority of my clients right now live in New York.
Okay.
So, we do get a lot of California and New York, but it's the #1 destination city in the United States for weddings. And it's the #2 in the world, second to Tuscany. And isn't that crazy?
I would not have guessed that, but that's awesome. I believe it.
It's so gorgeous there.
Yeah.
It is. It's gorgeous. And I didn't know that when I decided to move here. I just said it's beautiful and it's warm and all of that.
Bonus.
But because of that, there's a ton of wedding photographers here.
Okay.
It's definitely what you would call a saturated market, but I kind of love it because all my friends are photographers.
Yeah, but that seems like then if they're destination brides and they don't live there, you're not bumping into these girls at Starbucks as they're talking about, oh, I just got engaged last night. No. You're not having those kind of encounters. The relationships really matter, and the SEO obviously really matters that Manhattan bride can find you.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So a lot of the things that are nationwide that people do, like the Knot and Style Me Pretty and all of that, that has helped tremendously. As soon as I switched my Style Me Pretty listing over from the Boston area to Charleston, I started getting leads immediately, the same week.
Wow.
So,
That's great. So you really sort of went down this checklist and maybe kind of had a calendar of like, okay, I'm going to do this month and I'm going to do this month.
Yeah. This is my full-time gig. I don't have a second job, and I don't have a husband or someone to financially support me. So it was sink or swim. But I've only been here 4.5 months, and my leads are the same level that they were in Boston right now. So it is possible. You can do it. Yeah. Everyone can do it.
Now the third step on this one is probably my favorite, because I'm kind of a guy who loves other people. It's just kind of part of who we are here at Showit. So tell us step 3. I feel like this one's crucial. Step
3 is follow up.
Yeah.
Anybody can make a great first impression, and you can fake it for a few hours. But what I did afterwards, anybody that I met, I made sure to follow up with a note or a present or anything, a thank you, something that helped them, something that we talked about. There was one vendor that I think about right now that during our meeting, she said, I'm living on coffee and Red Bull right now because she's just so busy. And so I sent her a care package with coffee and Red Bull. Yeah. And I mean, it's just little itty bitty things that people don't normally think about, but to let them know that you were actually listening, that you actually care about them as a person rather than just what they can do for you, that has helped out tremendously.
Yeah.
So, and it's not why I do it, but it does actually help.
Yeah. Well, what I love about that is it's not just a vendor connection.
Right. It's a relationship.
It's a relationship, right? And I just think that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
It's all about serving others.
That goes so much farther. And then when they have the opportunity to reciprocate by sending you business, they're going to think of you and not just as, oh, that photographer. It's, oh, my friend Rachel, who's a photographer, and making that step into friendship and not just vendorship. I think it's really important.
But it's huge, and that also plays into that idea, right? The rising tide raises all ships. So
yeah. And if I do end up doing that and nothing comes out of it, I'm not disappointed. I would rather have that solid foundation anyway. Yeah. So if I'm not getting referrals out of a present, that's not why I do it in the first place. Right. So yeah.
Well, right on.
That's awesome. I love it. I love these suggestions, and I think they can be really, really helpful to you if you're moving markets. And I know a lot of people, make a big move or they make multiple moves, and it's a good idea to go through this. And I especially love what you said about you started a year in advance. Like you really thought this through.
Yeah. Well, it was either that or I wasn't going to do it again.
Okay. Yeah.
So I just wasn't going to be a photographer again, and you either do it or you give up. Yeah. So I did it.
It's kind of something.
So you can do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of something photographers generally love doing.
Yeah.
So
don't give up.
Yeah.
Just get moving on the list of things you need to do.
Forward, right?
Exactly. Yeah. All the time. This was so awesome, Rachel.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. I had a great time.
Yeah. You were wonderful. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, join us on Thursday. Something fun. Half Christmas.
It's going to be really fun or really disgusting or kind of a happy mix of both.
I think it's going to be a blend of both, if you will.
Will it blend?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be awful. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Rachel, for being so wonderful. And we will see you guys on Thursday on Periscope.
Yep.
And then also next Tuesday on Showit Live.
Next Tuesday on Showit Live, we are going to have an announcement of a new speaker at the beginning of our episode. And then I think we actually have an guest or No,
not next week.
I have my weeks all mixed up. I need a calendar like Rachel.
Right? Well, guys, thank you so much. We will see you guys on Thursday on Periscope and then also next Tuesday on the show. Have a great week, guys.
Bye, guys.